They were three brothers learning the ways of the ninja, but what started as a game suddenly turned real. Those kids.
We should run. We should hide. We should kick their butt.
Now, three heroic kids are taking on one ruthless criminal.
Yes!
And they're determined to have the last laugh.
Enjoy the ride.
Three Ninjas, rated PG, parental guidance suggested.
And welcome everyone to Bullets,
Bourbon, and Karate.
And this week's episode is
Three Ninjas.
Hiya! August 7th, 1992. The world was never the same because that is the day Three Ninjas was released into our lives in America. Marcus, you saw this movie for the first time, is that correct?
That's correct.
Oh, I am jealous you got to live that for the first time.
Are you?
I am. I remember the first time I watched Three Ninjas. This is considered my favorite movie of all time. I understand it's not the greatest, but it is my favorite movie of all time.
I don't think, since knowing you, a day has gone by where at least one reference of Three Ninjas hasn't come into play.
And for good reason, we're going to get into it. We're going to talk all about this wonderful gem of a movie. I'm Adam Archer.
I'm Mark Hall.
This is Bullets, Bourbon, and Karate, where every week we pick one of our favorite action movies growing up. This just happens to be my favorite because it's also the 29th anniversary. It was on August 7th.
Oof.
Big 30 years coming up of Three Ninjas. And you can find us on social media at bbkaratepodcast at gmail.com. You can find us on social media, like I said earlier, at bbkaratepodcast on Instagram and Twitter, and on Facebook at Bullets, Bourbon, and Karate. All of those mean nothing to us, really, but we would like
The ratings, sweet, sweet ratings.
Sweet, sweet ratings.
That's all we need. We know we've been blacked out for a little bit. We know we've gone dark.
We
had
dark.
some special things going on here,
We
guys.
have all sorts. I mean, the world is coming back to order. Things are happening, and things may be taken away from us again very soon.
Yeah, you never know.
But things are going on. There's been a lot of travel going on, and we are back with a bang with this legendary movie. A movie that as I researched it, I know how much I like this movie.
Right.
But this movie holds a special place in a lot of people's hearts.
Yeah.
And I was happy to see that, I guess.
I don't think you can find a review on there that is just not like probably some 30-year-old, 40-year-old who is just, I used to watch this every night at midnight. Or, I used to watch this 18 times. I used to rent it for Blockbuster all the time.
That's me. I am that 30-some-odd-year-old.
Yeah.
And, we pair movies with drinks because that's in our title, and we've done that today. We're drinking a beer with this movie because, like this movie, I needed an easy drinking experience, something easy.
Sure.
I'm a kid watching this movie. I don't need hard alcohol for this.
No, we don't.
So what we have is a P3 Pils.
I'm excited.
American-style Pilsner, Phase 3 Brewing Company, brewed out of Lake Zurich, Illinois. We are a Chicago-based podcast, so a local brew from my favorite liquor store that gives treats to my dogs, as I've talked about earlier. Their tap room is open. They are at 932 Donata Court in Lake Zurich, Illinois. So if you're there, head by Phase 3 Brewing, and we have Phase 3 Ninjas today. P3 Pils. We're going to crack these bad boys open, and we're going to try them right now.
Let's see what we got. Oh. Hopefully not too hoppy, not too IPA. Shouldn't be if it's a Pilsner. Good smell.
Oh, that was a lot more difficult than I thought it was going to be.
Oh, that's crisp. I like it.
Low out, 4.7%.
Yeah.
I
That's Oklahoma beer right there.
Yeah. Easy listening beer.
Yeah.
I chose this one. It has 3 in it, of course, and 3 Ninjas. I was going to do 3 Floyds, but I thought I've had this beer before, and I thought,
oh, you have had this P3?
I've had
yeah?
P3 before,
Okay.
and so I thought, man, I could drink these like they're a little maybe stouter than a Coors Light or something like that, but they're better. And I could see, I don't know, just something about this. Sunny day, training in ninja.
Yeah.
Hard day with Grandpa.
Yeah.
You retire, you have your rice and bok choy or whatever they were eating in that cabin.
Sure.
And you crack one of these open, and you just think about all your ninja training.
Yeah, I could see Snyder just drinking this, just clean living, but...
Maybe I should have had a choice of drink from Snyder's perspective. Just straight vodka, probably. I don't know. What would Snyder drink?
I don't know, maybe
the blood
gin?
of children?
Gin.
He is a gin guy.
Yeah, I think a gin guy, yeah.
So, that's what we're drinking, P3. If you think you have something else that you would like to pair with it, let us know. Hit us up on our social media. We always prefer email just because it's cleaner and easier. So
BB cleaner.
Yeah, bbkaratepodcast at gmail.com. And with that,
I'm excited for you, Adam.
I
know how much you've been wanting to fit this in here and
Yeah.
just shoehorn three ninjas into this fiasco of a podcast.
This fits perfectly. This is everything I love. Now, let's get into it. Three Ninjas, as I said, August 7th, 1992, had a budget of $2.5 million, and this little movie that could made $29 million.
Yeah, 29.
That's a big hit.
That is.
That's a shoestring budget.
That is. That's crazy. Like, looking at it, that's a lot of families, just kids dragging their mom and dad.
Oh,
and
I was that.
And also, though, just a lot of kids, like, when it's, a better time when it was safe to go to the movies by yourself as a kid and not get, taken into a van. But, crazy. 29 million, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This concept is simple, and they have no problem. They put it right on the box. Home Alone meets Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
I'm sold.
Yeah.
As a kid, are you kidding?
Why not? Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I would go see this 3 times, 4 times a week sometimes. I don't know how much I saw this in the movies.
Real quick, if you had to give a ballpark of how many times you saw it in theaters, 6? That's a lot,
6 or 7 times.
That's like me with Tenet. I think I saw Tenet like 6 or 7 times.
This is my Tenet.
Yeah.
And I will say, in that it is my Tenet, I watched it last night with my beautiful girlfriend. Mm-hmm. Hello, Lucy. And as I was watching this, I connected something that I had never connected before in all my years of watching it, and we'll talk about it.
Okay, I'm excited to hear.
Yeah, and it's something that's obvious, and it's not like the moment didn't hit me that it happened.
Right.
I was like, oh, that's really a foreshadowing moment.
Yeah. Okay.
Can't wait to talk about it.
Okay.
We, of course, were given the American version,
right,
as it was released in August, but what we watched was the director's cut.
Yeah, the more violent.
That's right, quote unquote violent. They were
version,
worried
yes.
about that PG-13 rating, which, upon the sequel, which we'll talk about, in the kerfuffle that happened with Kickback and the kerfuffle that happened with Knuckle Up. Knuckle Up has a PG-13 rating.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. So I guess they were trying to make it more adult. And Knuckle Up we won't do an episode on it because it's not a very good movie. It has the original ninjas in it,
yes,
which is all I care about. It's jarring to see who they cast as Rocky and Three Ninjas Kickback.
Right.
From what
because Rocky was the only one who didn't come back and Kickback.
The Chad Powers didn't either. He had a TV movie
Gotcha.
that was being made at the time. It was, I tell you what movie that was. So he did not do Three Ninjas Kickback because I believe he was either filming a movie called Couples, where he played a kid named Charlie, or he was on a TV series of Baywatch for Bobby Clark.
Yeah, you got to take both of those. You got to...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what's interesting about this is as much as it's loved, other than Max Elliott Slade, who was really the only one who cared to be an actor, is the only one who comes back. Mm-hmm. He's the only one who did Three Ninjas Kickback, and there was no crazy secret or deceptive reasons as to why. Michael Trenner never did anything else.
Yeah. Yeah.
He didn't want to be an actor.
Yeah.
He did it. He's a shy kid, apparently, is what I listened to a podcast. I will shout that podcast out perhaps in the credits, but I can't remember what it is right now. But he talks about how he was it's not what he wanted.
Was he the one who was, and I hate to not be precise right now, exactly, but doing my research and everything, was Trenner the one who was plucked from his karate class to be. Yeah, I just imagine like Adam wanting like during this time, hoping somebody would see you in your karate class. And
this is when I was taking my Taekwondo.
Right.
This is when I wanted to be Three Ninjas. I wanted to be kidnapped. I wanted to use my martial arts skills to get out of the situation, and I wanted a ninja for a grandfather and not a brick mason.
Yeah.
Or 2 World War II veterans.
Right.
Who were probably more capable than Victor Wong was. No offense. Rest in peace. So, and they just didn't want it anymore, and Max Slade was like, well, hell, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And he talks about how fun it was to go to Three Ninjas Kickback and just live in Japan for 6 weeks. One of the things he talks about most, and his favorite experience, or one of his favorite experiences about working in Japan on Three Ninjas Kickback, was that he could go to the arcade. And
love the arcades in Japan.
They were getting games years before they hit the States.
Yeah.
So he didn't mention games by name, but he was like, that's
a boom of arcade right there.
13-year-old,
just think about being in Japan. That's like a perfect culmination of everything.
13-year-old making money, doing a film and relatively large sequel.
Yeah.
The sequels, Knuckle Up was almost shot immediately after Three Ninjas, the first. But for some reason was released long after Kickback.
Yeah, like 3 years, 4 years, or something like that. Yeah.
Which they talk about it on the podcast. But it is interesting. Pre-internet, you don't know.
Right.
I knew Kickback was coming out. I didn't know Knuckle Up had been made until I saw a poster for it in the movie store.
How exciting was that for you?
Oh my God, can you imagine? I remember I was in the video game aisle, look over, there it is. And it's all the original ones.
Oh, yeah.
Which is even crazier to me. So I'm like, oh my God, they did it.
Boys are back.
The boys are back. Yeah. And then I'm like, well, how did this happen? Because there's no age.
Right.
Right? This is probably made, I think it was released in 95, maybe 94. If I'm incorrect, you can cancel me. But 3 or 4 years after, and these kids haven't aged. I'm like, how did this happen? You find out later. And no, you can't really find a specific reason as to why Knuckle Up was released later. I think they just didn't like the final product.
Gotcha.
Is my guess.
Yeah.
Could not be, whatever. I think a distributor saw it was like, nah.
Yeah.
But there's still money in the franchise because it was such a hit.
Yeah.
Relatively speaking, to a $2 million budget, it makes 30. Let's create it.
And did you see what the budget was for Knuckle Up? Or wait, Kickback was... Knuckle Up was the second one,
These are great questions. Yeah. And questions I should have looked at because I didn't think about... Let's see. Three Ninjas Kickback. 1994. And of course, Three Ninjas Kickback... The only Three Ninjas movie to spawn a video game. Ooh. So...
It's a sweet Super NES.
Super NES. And there was a Sega CD of it.
Right. Yeah.
It is a highly collective game.
Yeah.
The cart alone is around $100. The box sold for about $120. The instruction manual itself sold for $56 recently.
Jesus.
So I have never seen one. I've seen one complete in boxes. Sega. There's a sealed one I'm looking at on as Sega CD, but the SNES, it's
a rare one.
Yeah. If anybody got any leads to a complete inbox Three Ninjas Kickback video game, let me know. The budget was $20 million for Three Ninjas Kickback.
Whoa, man!
They're like, hey, we have something here.
Yeah,
we're gonna film it in Japan.
Yeah,
maybe they thought internationally we're gonna crush, right? It did not. Domestic. Now, maybe it made it not worldwide. Domestically, $11 million.
Oof.
Closer to 12. Yeah. But so not what movie studios are hoping for. Three Ninjas Knuckle Up doesn't say that. Doesn't have a budget, but it did have a box office U.S. subtotal, whatever that means. What does subtotal mean?
You gotta think like during this time too that when you have movies like Home Alone, Ninja Turtles, that they're pumping out sequels, but at the same time until 3 or 4 with either one of them, that